So today we are going to look into the Survival Guide to Collaborative Professional Development. It's based on an educator's perspective. My name is Fatma Ali, and I'm the president at KSOL TESOL. KSOL TESOL is an ELT organization based in Saudi Arabia, and we have a lot of English teachers, both now locally and internationally, attending our events. I'm also the Vice President of Master English Education and Training, GCC, a certified Cambridge trainer and an accreditation consultant for ASAC UK. So today we are going to deal with you. Yes, you got it right. We are going to deal with what is important for you. We do a lot for our students, and I agree. I mean, I know myself too. I keep myself in the same position whenever something relates to my students. I have to make sure that I get it across clearly. If there's a new lesson or if there are new approaches. Now, lately, we are getting used to a lot of technology. So over here, we are going to deal with how you're feeling right now. I know for some of you who may be able to scan the barcode, fantastic. If you're not able to scan the barcode, that's fine. I think we can just use a discussion forum because there are only a few of us, so we will not use the barcode. Let's just use the chat box. I will only be looking at the chat box right now. So please tell me, how are you feeling right now? There are a couple of emotions right here. If you're going to ask me, to be very honest, I'm exhausted since morning. Hello, Dr. Siham. Hello. So please, you're feeling happy, Dr. Siham. That's fantastic. Who else? Please use the chat box because I'm only looking at the chat box right now. I won't be looking at the graphical representation and back in the Mentimeter. Yes, any more responses? Happy. Say, oh, Dennis, I hope you feel better. Rowan. Okay. Yes, everybody, please participate. So how are you feeling right now? Oh, Hannah, totally relatable. Okay, you're a little stressed, Dream, not depressed. Okay. All right. That is just one of the aspects of a teacher's life, as an educator's life. Yes, more responses. I'd like to see. Oh, happy, excited, fantastic. We're really on a good level right now. Okay, exhausted as well. Yes. Walaikum assalam, Nadia. Yes. So, how are you feeling today? Or right now, for that matter? I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing well. I just finished my OET interlocutor session with my trainees, candidates. Oh, that's a heads up. Feeling excited. Fantastic. So, technically, half of us are feeling excited. Oh, yes, it's the weekend. And if you didn't have a full day, that's even better. Those of you who are working since morning, that's a very difficult deal. So you'd be exhausted. For some, they may feel sleepy. Some of them, they feel that tired. Or is it Saturday? So you are all refreshed, right? So I want you to take a look at this. Please number your response. I've got two scenarios for you, and I want you to look into these two scenarios and tell me which one is you. It can't be you completely, like you can't be completely, you cannot correlate completely with point one or point two, but there would be some aspects of point one that would apply to you. So whichever context applies to you more, just go ahead and respond. So the first one is, I love my job. I love my new job. I can be creative in my class preparation. I get along really well with my students, and I really appreciate the responsibility. There's nobody looking over my shoulder all the time. When I'm at work, it's me and my class. So if this is you, type in 1 in the chat box, please. And I feel bored and a bit depressed with my job. I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I have no new ideas and I hate my course book. I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. One of the problems is that I feel so lonely. Even with a class full of students, I think I'm becoming disconnected from it all. That's number two. Okay, a couple of ones. Good. Okay. It's okay to be number two, by the way. If you were to ask me, I don't say I'm depressed with my job as such, but sometimes it can get monotonous. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, that is when you feel really bored. So you may not feel entirely depressed, but you may feel bored. Oh, Reem, very good response, Reem. Yes, Dr. Seham, also number one. Yes, a mix of both. I wouldn't deny that. I would pretty much agree with the same thing that it would be a mix of both. Yes, more participation. Who else would like to respond? Is it number one? Is it number two? Well, we've got a lot of number ones, but we will see how to handle all those. Oh, sometimes we're two. I so agree with that, Nadia. We are sometimes number two. I think we have to be number two in that. Uh, there is a good question by Eric Robbins. He says, "Are there any choices like 1.5?" There you go. This is us on this platform. So let's just do it. Let's just do 1.5. No problem. Okay. Sometimes weird too. Okay. So you can see all of us, we fall into certain categories, definitely. And if you fall in number two, it's not a problem. It just happens. Like I'd see myself in this boat probably before COVID, because I was doing the same thing again and again. And during COVID now, when we are in the second wave, uh, I think there's still a lot more to learn. All of us are still adapting. We're still learning. So I'm not getting bored. Definitely not depressed. I believe most of us pretty much fall in that same category. So with this, the first most important thing that we need to look into, sorry, is all about collaborating with your team without losing your mind. Yes. Now, I believe with little patience, it has been very difficult, to keep up with a lot of teammates. I mean, I remember losing my cool most of the time, and especially during this time, when I'd say, I mean, high time, all of us are more tech friendly, and if I still come across some of my team members who are still struggling, passively, I would lose my mind, but definitely not in front of my team. So the idea is to collaborate with their thought or with their mindset with yours. So, so what kind of a mindset do you have? I'd like you to look through this, um, you know, these two graphical representations, and I'd like you to check. Are you right now in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? If you're a fixed mindset too, it's not a problem at all. It's just that you need a route, a place where you are able to, um, approach out for your own development, self-development. You need just a way out. Okay. If you're under the growth mindset, that's fantastic. So let's use the chat box again. And please tell me, what do you think is your mindset right now? I know some teachers who actually are in the fixed mindset. Yes, sometimes we are too. Growth, and most of us, we actually fall into the growth mindset. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Dennis. Growth all the way, Rawan. Oh, too much of growth. There's not too much of growth, is it? I'm too dramatic. Right. Okay. Too much of growth. Yes. Growth, Samia. Yes. Samia Abubakar. Yes. Growth. A lot of us. I think the main reason why all of us are here today is because we are having the growth mindset, where most of us take failure as an opportunity to grow. And you set up your mind to do or to learn anything you want. So challenges help you actually grow. When you're looking at fixed mindset, there are times, let me tell you, there was this one point, a couple of months ago, I actually felt, that I'm not good at anything, that I'm not changing, I'm not able to learn anything. Why is it that I'm being bombarded with all these tech tools? I don't want to do them. I want to face my trainees. So there are different ways how this fixed mindset is reflected even today. We've got some of the educators that have come across in some schools and institutions, where they say, you know what, I know about Zoom, that's all I'm going to do. No, right? So again, that's a fixed mindset. And they are frustrated. They're like, oh, you know what, this is not working, this feature of Zoom is not working, I'm just going to switch this off, and we will cancel our session today, and I'll see what I can do tomorrow. There is no backup plan as such. With a growth mindset, you actually come up with a backup plan. You'd say, okay, if something does not work, I've got the next option available already. So a growth mindset is always ready for challenges because they feel that it helps them grow. A fixed mindset, it pretty much settles at one point. Okay. All right. So now let's look into stresses. So these are physical environment, social interaction, organizational stresses, major life changes, and daily hassles. So anything that relates to the environment, with the people, at workplace, major life changes like birth. You give birth to a baby. Ah, that's a big life change, right? Somebody passed away, that's a big change. Daily hassle, managing your time. Yes. So these are your external stresses. Internal stresses, you've got lifestyle choices, like how you eat. Is it healthy? Do you have enough exercise? Negative self talk. Oh, most, I wouldn't say many, those who have got a growth mindset, they don't really reflect a lot of negative self talk, or else they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be where they are right now. But negative self talk, I have seen some teachers who would say, you know what, I'm good for nothing. I cannot work with technology. I cannot work with tools. This is exactly how they, start prepping their mind, their minds. And that's the same vibe they actually start giving to their own students. Mind traps, and because of the negative self talk, you just surround yourself with the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this, although they are capable to do this. There's so many teachers who come up to me and they tell me, Miss Fatma, you know what? I cannot do this. I tell them, no, you can do it. No, I just cannot do this. So when they have made up their minds and they're trapped within their own minds, within their own boundaries, it is very difficult for them to come out of it unless I actually make them come to my office rather than having an online consultation, and I tell them, do it right now. They'd say, I would not be able to do it. They say, I would say, do it right now. And when they would do it, and that's a whole another, that's an entirely different story. So that's when they know. So our job as educators, especially when you have had so much of experience through your life, over 10 years, and you are in the capacity where you can lead, it is very important that you make sure that you are helping these educators come out of these mind traps, this negative self-talk, and last but not the least, your personality traits, the kind of person you are. Okay. I had this little poll activity for external and internal stresses. So tell me, instead of, like I said, we can actually do it via chat. Let's do everything via chat because I can actually see the chat window very well. So, which of these are impacting you the most right now? What is it for you? Is it external stressor or is it the internal stressors? Please let me know your response in the chat box. External. Oh, wow, external. Okay, external again. All right, interesting. Oh, internal more. Okay, Iftikhar Mohammed. That's interesting. I would really love to know what aspect of internal stress is bothering you. Dr. Siham, internal, yes. So is it the lifestyle choices? I think it could be partly both. Just like Nadia would say, oh, we're a mix of both. It's actually a mix of both. But these stressors, they keep varying from time to time. Or get an external. A little bit of both, yes. Most of us are a little bit of both. But what is it that is impacting you right now? Like right now, for me too, it would be external, right? Because there's so much going on. We're trying to adapt and we are trying to make the best out of the situation. Yes, we will have a bit of internal stresses. I try not to have internal to do everything somehow. Oh, the act of perfection. Oh my God, the perfectionist. That can be very difficult. Yes. Yes. So we are looking at the external stresses and the internal stresses. Most of us are impacted more by the external stresses, but external stresses and internal stresses both can be handled in an appropriate way so long as we actually know what is bothering us at the same time. And we are going to look into that. Okay, so let's look into the ABC of stress management. That's the overall picture we are looking at. So, with stress management, you are able to recognize and then you're going to work on that particular stressor and you can have more control over your life. There were times when there were times during the COVID time when we were under a lockdown. That was the most difficult time. I think I took a good whole 2 weeks to actually even understand what I'm going to do with my students, with my teacher trainees, with my work. It took me a good 2 weeks to actually even to actually establish a system. So we're looking at first awareness. So, number one, if it's external, what's causing it? If it's internal, what's causing it? And how do you react to it? Very important. Then, once you recognize, yes, physical environment is COVID, social environment is COVID, yes, Oglas, yes, new management, most of us, basically. For me, it was more like we had to, in our company, we had to actually lay off a lot of people. So we didn't really bring in new people on board, except two trainers. That worked out very well. Yes, Eric. So, how do you react to these stresses, be it external or internal? So, there is a fine line between positive and negative stress. When is it positive? When do you think stress is positive? Any responses in the chat window? We need stress. We cannot survive without stress. When it motivates you, perfect. Exactly, Rowan. When it motivates you, when it moves you to improve, very good, Eric. Exactly. So if it's going to get me moving, yes, it is. It has a positive effect on me. However, when do you think it turns out to be negative? Yes, in the chat window again. I'd like to see. When you don't do anything. Yes, possibly. And I'd like to hear something slightly medical related. When it affects your health, relationships. Exactly, Rowan. Yes. When it demotivates you, yes, there are times when it affects your thinking and you cannot do it. Depression, perfect example. If it's going to take a toll on my mental health and my physical health. So, what are the negative aspects of stress? Most of the people I know, when the stress is having a negative impact, often they eat more. Hence, it affects their physical health, and then mental health. By all means, there's no sleep, and the person's always anxious. They're irritated. Yes, so mental health is so important and lots of anxiety. I so agree with you, Ravan. Negative effects on relationships, so good. Mood swings, relates perfectly well to us as females, hormones, right? And negative effects on relationships, yes. So you start taking out that stress on who? On your parents, sometimes your siblings, sometimes it happens with your own kids. will happen, you actually go through it with your husband. So yes, so how much can you cope with it before it becomes negative? So once I know, we do this unconsciously when you're trying to balance, and when we are undergoing the negative aspect of stress, we actually do it unconsciously. But once you see the effect of the stress on the people, on the external environment around you, and you know that it's not doing any good, it has to be worked on, right? So there's only so much that you can cope when it becomes negative. So there's positive stress, there's a lot of work going on, there's a lot of energy, you're doing a lot of PD, but there's this one point, that saturation point, where you come in and everything just goes downhill, and you should know that, oh, you know what, that's my limit. I should stop basically here and just not overload yourself. Sometimes some people are very good at controlling that overload by saying no. Some people are like me, who have a difficult time saying no. I would just tell myself, you know what, I'm going to nail this off anyway. So precisely, we should know, yes, the boundaries are very important, and how much we can cope. Our limits are very important. So if you're going to push, against our limits every single time, maybe once or twice, it might be good. It may actually be positive that you're pushing yourself, you're going beyond your comfort zone, and you're trying to nail this aspect of your stress. But it becomes a vicious cycle or a nightmare, once you get used to that kind of stress. And when that kind of stress is actually not there with you, you actually feel overwhelmed, that, oh, I've got nothing else to do. So that is very important. C, control. What can you do to help yourself combat the negative side effects of stress? Very important. So I have to make it into, I have to swap it, right? So whatever was actually creating an issue with my system, with my stress levels. So now I know that this stressor has to be dealt with. So first, stressor identification. Second, we are looking at is how to manage it. And third, we are looking at how to combat the negative effects. Okay. Thank you so much for the lovely response, dear participants. Really appreciate that. Okay, stress leads to commit errors. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, take time to reflect and visualize how you want things in your life to be. Yes, precisely. Optimistic approach helps you overcome stress. Yes, but to a certain extent. There's always a limit, like I told you, Nadia. For me, I have to take this time out. I force myself to take this time out, where I want to sit back at least for 3 to 4 days and think as to what I want to do. Lately, what I wanted to do was, okay, we are in November 2020. So how would I want to end this year, 2020? What are the skills or what are the skills I learned? And for this, I need to sit back and reflect. What did I do throughout the year? What did I learn? What are the opportunities? More like a SWOT analysis on myself. It really helps me critically think. So yes, so with an optimistic approach, that helps. But sometimes being unreasonably optimistic all the time uh, may also lead you to places where you wouldn't want to be. Okay, right. So let's take a look at the personality types. All of us, we really love the personality types, right? So let's take a look into these personality types and see which one you fall into. Oopsie. Okay. Oh, something wrong. Okay, yes, it's back again. Yes. So no two people are, based on the personality type, that is how you basically respond to stress. So with Nadia's personality, I think you're more of the type A. Okay, so let's take a look into that. So all of us, we respond to stress differently. So individual personality factors, they play a significant role in the way a person responds to stress. So personality was defined by Allport as the dynamic organization within the individual of the psychological systems that determine his characteristic behavior and thought. So how I respond to stress, some people, they do it very well. They're able to calm their nerves. Some of them, they just have to vent it out. one point or the other, every personality type has to vent it out, but it really depends on the timing, depending on the kind of personality trait you exhibit. So such people are characterized by the following traits. So type A, you're active and energetic. Impatient if they have to wait in a queue. Sounds more like me. Honest. You maintain high standards. So Dr. Siham, yes, I remember her talking about being, nailing perfection. Yes. Always consider time as a problem. There is never enough. Yes, there was this one time. Actually, even today, I think even day before yesterday, I just felt that 24 hours were not enough because there's so much going on in my life right now, on the personal front, on the work front. It's just that I want to nail everything, but I know I have to prioritize. So I just try to, take a back seat sometimes, and I tell myself, what, Fatma, it's okay. Intolerant to those who may be slower in thought and action. Yes, this was kind of me. All of us evolve into different personality types. We may not be strictly I mean, I may be type A, but after some time I may be type B too. Okay. Let's take a look at type B, the placid ones. They're very quiet, very little worries them. Actually, they're type B personality types, they worry me more because I'm just surprised by the fact that how relaxed and calm they are when the whole world is is in chaos, basically. They worry only about things that they can alter or control and leave others to worry about the rest. I think it works. If you're one of those kinds, that would be interesting. Type C. Okay. So now take your time, reflect on all of these personality types, make a note, and then at the end of all the personality types, you can tell me what personality do you relate more to. You can you can relate to two personality types, you can relate up to even three, but you will be heavily one as of now. And type C, they are nervous, extremely strong, not very difficult of self ability. They're anxious about the future, and they're anxious of being able to cope. Sounds more like my sister. She is a fitness consultant at the Park Hyatt, and it has always been, this has always been her, and even though she is so skilled and she knows her job, she does it very well, and she still doubts herself, and she says, I don't think I did a good job, but everybody else around her is actually praising her work. So yes. You are what? Sorry, you are A. Okay, good. That's really nice. Maybe you would be able to relate more to, okay, A, B, mostly B, sometimes A. It's nice to see that. Let's take a look at a few more and come down to more possible combinations for you. Okay. Type D. Let's take a look at type D. Okay. All right. Yes, type B, A, and B. A lot of you relate to type A and B, but look at type D, E, F, and G as well, and let me know. Type D loves variety. They're often athletic and daring. Very little worries them, and they're not concerned about the future. Yeah, I do have a few teachers. I tell them to think long term what they're going to do in the next couple of years. They just go like, nah, I would rather just worry about what is going on right now and make the best of everything, which is actually even good. I think they're the good, and there are some good and not so good points about each of the personality types. Also, we embrace them all. Type E, dedicated and serious, very concerned about other people's opinion about them. Do not take criticisms kindly. You may know somebody who falls in this boat. I know one or two of them who actually fall in this personality type category. They tend to do well. They tend to dwell on others' criticism of them for a long time, and they distrust most people. Does context and time influence a personality type? Yes, they do. In fact, you as a person, Mr. Yusuf, you as a person would exhibit some aspect of all of these personalities at one point of your time or life, or at one point of time of your life or the other. Okay, I'm so sorry, I don't have water here with me, and because I'm back here at the university, so I may have some issues speaking. So I'm just going slow. And type F. bored with their own company, sensitive to surroundings, rely on others a great deal, do not respond easily to change. Do you know any educators who fit this bill? I know. I know a few, but I've personally not been that kind of a person. So, type G are meticulous. Type F is your worst enemy. I cannot. Oh my god, I know totally right. Well, uh, that's because Reem, you have the leadership traits. That is why. Yeah, they can't be your worst enemy though. I mean, that's a little harsh, isn't it? Okay, let's take a look at the last type, which is type G. They're meticulous, they're honest, and they like a set routine. You do anything out of their routine, they're heavily bothered. They do not like change. Any new problem throws on them because there are no rules to follow. So they need everything by and for the protocol. If there is no protocol, that really sets them off. They are great believers in authority. So they feel if they're upper authorities, they should do their job and I should do mine. They do their work, but then they wouldn't like any additional work. Like, for instance, if that person were to do something from the higher authority, they wouldn't actually do that. So, which personality type is you now? This would be interesting. Is it A, B? Is it A alone? Is it B? Is it A, B, D? Okay. I don't think most of us fall into the F category, but we know somebody who falls into the F category or the E category for that instance. So, any more responses? All right. So let's. We have looked into several personality types. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's just that, usually I'm in my office or in a place where where people can't drive me out. But here I am stuck. So it's okay. So let's take a look at how to approach our stressors for positive mindset. So there are various approaches that can be used to handle stressors or stressful situations. So so now this is going to pop up one by one. The first part is you avoid unnecessary stress in the first place. And second, yes, more like a stressor test. It's more like identifying what is stressing you. And then you are going to make sure how you alter the situation basically in your favor. So you alter the situation, you adapt to the stressor, you accept things that can't be changed, you make time for fun and relaxation, and you also adopt a healthy lifestyle. So all of these basically go hand in hand. Now, this is something that I usually keep with myself. This is a very good head start, when you are going to have some stressor diary inputs. So this is an initial template. You're going to find a lot of sample stressor diary inputs that you can have for yourself. For me, what I usually do is the time of the day. What is exactly stressing me out? And secondly, I look into the intensity of stress from 1 to 10. 1 very less, 10 being extreme, the extreme kind of stress. What is triggering that stressor? Okay. It could be anything, from a talk to sometimes my children, if I'm trying to, focus on my tasks, they'd come and they would say, Mama, Mama, Mama. It just triggers a situation and I went it out all on them. And then you have the symptoms that you experience. If you're very careful, or if you actually notice the changes, even to the most sensitive changes, you're going to see some symptoms like you are going to experience rapid heart rate, breathlessness. Okay, so these are some of the symptoms. To some of them, their face starts to flush. You're going to look into that. So, and your reaction, was it a positive or a negative response to stress? Were you able to contain your reaction or you just let it out? And last but not the least, how could you change that reaction or response for the better? So once you keep a stress diary, it really helps you understand what is triggering, especially when you're in a classroom. Now, this may sound too general, but actually it's not. It relates to every aspect of your profession. and every aspect of your profession. If you are a high school coordinator, and if you are a teacher, or if you're a new teacher, all of us have different intensities of stress, what triggers it, the symptoms experienced, the reaction response to stress, and how we can change that response to a better. So once you start documenting it, you actually start realizing that there is more that you can work on yourself, compared to when you do not, note it down. So a positive mindset needs you to follow a couple of things. So tip number one: add good nutrition and exercise. Tip number two: laugh, which is very important. And then tip number three: be social. So when you feel the stress, your instincts, they tell you to isolate yourself. Don't do that, you know call friends and live with younger children. I don't think it would apply to some of us, because I've got teenage kids, and if I am stressed out, I do not want them anywhere near me. I'd come back to them when I'm more calm. I do a lot of volunteer work. That really gives me a very good feeling. Be around people as much as possible. Oh, pets. Oh, that is such a good idea. Pets are amazing. I'd love to be a cat owner, but somehow it just does not. Not all cat lovers are actually lucky to to have pets, to have them as their pets. Yes, I can manage with a fish though, but I would really love cats. Yes, pets are amazing. So we can have pets. Yes, it's a good idea. Tip number four: know your stressor. You know how important that is? We just looked into a table that identified so many elements of the stressor. So, with any kind of stressor that's bothering you, or that is actually putting down your performance, it is very important for you to actually recognize that stressor and start working on it. Make that stressor work in your favor rather than you working for the stressor and reacting to it. And then you have tip number five, which is managing stress at workplace. So the real cause for job related stress is not overwork, but lack of personal control. Not many of us actually look into that, right? We are participating as actively as possible and attending company meetings and events. It really helps you manage stress at workplace. That is, we always wonder. I've had some teachers come up to me and they tell me that I don't know why our school has decided to put up the school trip for us. We don't really need it. We just need to go back home. Yeah, your school is actually taking care of you. So it's a good idea to actually go and be in that positive zone where you're able to relax more than getting yourself stressed at a particular. It's just the change of the environment that is really helpful in this case. Help your colleagues and subordinates. So it's a two-way thing technically. So it's not just, if you really want to manage stress at your workplace, you also have to make sure that the people you're working with are also able to manage stress at the same time, or else it comes out on each other. Okay, and tip number six: get enough sleep. I cannot emphasize enough on this one. I've been there, done that. I have tried surviving on a 3 hour sleep, going on a 12-hour ride. When it comes to flights, it didn't do me any good. So now I'm very punctual and religious about the sleep patterns. So minimum 6 hours of sleep, maximum 8 hours. Tip number seven: relax your body and mind. Very important. So any kind of relaxation activities. Do you have any kind of relaxation activities that you'd like to share? Some of you who actually practice. I'd like to see in the chat box. Any responses to tip number seven on relaxing your mind and body? Oh, crocheting, coloring, painting, yoga. Wow, fantastic. Spending some time with family. Yes, dancing, working out. I take a nap. That's good. That's good. You are taking care of yourself. So that's good. You know what I do? I'll tell you what I do. Yes, I do spend time with my family, and I work out a bit. I think the best way to actually relax my mind and body is yes, cooking. Yes, that's one of it, and Netflixing. It's a term that I've coined during COVID. So I do a lot of Netflixing. I watch a lot of series, the short ones. I really can't keep up with the really long ones. I hope there are no disturbances. Okay. So, what do teachers need? Teachers need a lot. They need a lot of training. They need motivation. They need advice. They need success, mentoring, support, coaching, set up goals, how to set up goals. If you are going to interview around, say, you can just pick a school and start interviewing their teachers. Shopping is therapeutic. It's more like, yeah, I think I'm one of those people who don't do shopping much, only when it's necessary. But I know a lot of people who find shopping therapeutic. Yes. I love shopping perfumes, though, by all means. Oh, okay. So when you're looking at the teacher's need, we're looking into all of these aspects. Almost 70% of the teachers, according to my research that I've done with the international schools and universities over here, they do not even recognize that they need all of these elements. They just say that we are just lost. Most of the responses they related to the fact that they're just lost. They need direction. They don't know where to go for direction. They want to succeed, but they just don't know how. They have a framework in their minds, but they just don't know how to get it through. So this is where I start with the positive mindset. And I tell them, you know what? You need to believe in yourself. And instead of thinking, if you're not good at something, why don't you think it this way? What do I need to learn to get better? Sometimes you're just satisfied with what is good or what is enough, basically. We always question ourselves in a positive mindset, asking ourselves. So you're not asking anybody else to grade us or mark our performance. This is something we do as for self-reflection. Can I do better? I give up, which most of us we really think of. But with a positive mindset, we look into I'll try it differently. Then how I don't know how to do it. You can look into maybe I can learn. So many of us were in this phase a couple of months ago. We know how to do a lot of things, and now we actually know how to carry out an entire lesson, an interactive session with students online. I'm afraid of mistakes. Mistakes help me learn and grow. So that is the kind of mindset. So some people are afraid to make mistakes, or they fear to be criticized. Some of them they say, "Oh, it's so hard." So all what they need to do is practice, or they should have to come out of their comfort zone. Others are better than me. Now, this is something that happens with a lot of people, and I can learn from them. This is the other aspect of the positive mindset. I don't think I'll ever, be able to do anything, but rather saying that I'm confident I will be able to do it. There are so many things I tell myself, and sometimes I think it's unreasonable, and I'm not able to do it. But reframing, yes, exactly. Reframing is very important. The way we think, that is how we program our subconscious mind to a positive mindset. This is very, very important. This is more like I don't know how many of us over here have gone through some kind of a hypnotherapy session where they activate the subconscious mind. This is basically how they activate the subconscious mind. So, so self-motivation for teachers. So teachers with high motivation, which most of us over here are, you show interest, you're always striving to do more, you're engaged, focused, connected to the leaders and other teachers. See how important is connection in this regard. You make connections between professional development and his or her classroom. You are secure and confident in your own abilities, and you put forth effort. And just the opposite are the teachers with low motivation. So it's high time we actually start relating ourselves with how with the aspect of how we can be highly motivated rather than telling ourselves that what I'll not be able to do this, I'll not be able to pull this off. We are in charge of ourselves. The fact that our learning and teaching process is so autonomous, the power of learning and teaching is in our hands. So it's basically us who are the drivers. Okay, so we are, what's next? So what is your PD outlet? So in the chat window, please tell me, what is your PD outlet? Where do you go for your professional development? Now that professional development is online and pretty much, international, I'd like to hear what is your PD outlet, and I'll share you mine. So where are you going for your professional development? What online e-conferences have you attended, or workshops or sessions? Dalal Group from UAE, yes. Reading books as professional development, yes, it definitely improves. But when you're talking about a PD outlet, it is basically relating to an organization or a publisher that as of now, recently we're attending so many webinars, right? So definitely with regards to that, books, yes, they do count as a part of a PD, but I'm asking for more active. Okay, ALLB, that ALAB webinars are very good. Okay, what else are you attending so far? Any other organizations that you are a part of? Attending workshops. Okay, Nadia, where have you attended your workshops? Was it through a particular publisher, or was it through a particular organization? Online in your college, yes, that basically helps. Yes, or most of the colleges are on organizing online sessions. Oxford University Press and Cambridge, very good, Mr. Yusuf. Yes, short online courses, Oxford Leadership course. Oh, that has been on my list for so long, Rowan. I've been meaning to take those courses. Okay, you have weekly sessions for professional development. Udemy. Ah, yes, Udemy as well. Yes, that those are very good resources. And any organization that you were basically a part of. I would love to hear something about organizations. Any organizations? Nobody is attending anything from organizations? Okay, so let me give you a brief about what I've been doing so far. I've been doing a mix of all the things. There are places where I present, there are places where I attend, and there are a lot of KSOL, TSOL webinars. Perfect. As a KSOL, TSOL president, I was just waiting to hear that, but I would love to hear other organization names as well. So I'm the president of KSOL TSOL. That's one thing. And I attend webinars. I attended lots of webinars. In fact, the TSOL International e-conference was very good. Okay, Advanced Higher Education Academy. Oh, yes. Yes, I've attended the webinars as well. And I've attended a lot of, some company webinars that were on interactive teaching through Zoom. And I've been to Nile TSOL events, and I've also been to Gulf TSOL, and there was IATEFL, okay? And just to name a few, just so I feel more as a part of a community now that we are more under a lockdown phase. Yes, Rawan. Cambridge unlock training sessions and webinars. Yes, if that's what your college is pulling off. Yes, definitely. That is one of the things. All right. So collaborative self-growth professional development. So now we are now with a positive mindset. See, everything is going to come one by one. right? Health and wellness webinars by Rain International on Zoom. Perfect. You can attend from a lot of organizations. That's not a problem at all. So what about the collaborative self-professional development? So one thing that I've realized in my life is by volunteering, I'm actually doing a favor to myself, to my working sanity, whereby I remain sane, and I stay grounded. And I know that I have to improve my skills. And there are so many people who I can correlate with as well. So volunteering has done more good to me. Some people may just say, oh, it's just a waste of time and effort. No, 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 it's not at all. In fact, I love volunteering. And that is how I was given a lot of opportunities. And be it short time, it might be project by project basis, it might be related to quality assurance. Yes, it keeps you grounded, definitely. And I participate in community practice discussion groups. Yes. So, like TESOL Golf, they've got this amazing practice called Taco Tuesdays, and there the teachers they gather, and there is a theme for every week. And teachers, they actively participate with their experiences. There were times when I was emotional hearing some of the instances, how teachers have gone, how the other education professionals, they have gone through a change in their lives, some of them really heart wrenching. So these discussion groups, they make you feel part of the community, and and also make sure that you are more in touch with the real people of the profession. Yes, it gives you a real taste of reality. Yes, by all means. And then learning through observation. I go attend sessions. I also attend online e-webinars of all the leading experts, and I learn from them. And that is what we call as passive observation. Now, there's effective teaching and learning, which I'm going to discuss in the next slide. And then also becoming a mentee or a mentor. We don't really put a lot of emphasis on this one, but this has actually changed my life, and I'm going to share exactly what I found. Because you have to be a mentee first, and then from your mentee, being a mentee, you learn so much from your mentor, and when you gain all that experience, then you mentor. Right? Fertile growth for active research, yes. Expand locally and be a part of teacher associations, ELT, for example, KSOL, TESOL, yes. So this is how I expanded locally. International collaboration, I always look forward to be a global citizen. So I'm looking into TESOL International, IATEFL, TESOL Gulf, Canada TESOL, Nile TESOL, and there is an association in Japan as well. You can, I mean, if you're looking at international collaboration, the list is endless, possibly endless. It's up to you where you would want to go. And first off, you first look at an ELT community in the country that you're residing in right now. And then you look forward to the other countries that you want to be a part of. Another very good example is also TESOL Arabia. And then we have, the ALLT from Sheikh Zayed University as well. So when we are looking at reflective teaching as a collaborative tool, you know, we are looking at first, it's not just about self-reflection. A lot of people think, oh, you know what, using reflection as a reflection tool, as a collaborative learning tool, it's all about self-reflection. No, it's all about, it's a three-sphere process. So self-reflection is just like step one. Step two is reflection on teaching and learning. What is it that is working for you? What is it that is not working for you? Is there something that you need to change? Is there something that you need to add? Something that you need to replace? You think about your own teaching practice, and you talk about reflection. And reflection to inform continuous professional development. Based on what you have reflected on when it came to teaching and learning, you are going to proceed for the continuous improvement, and that would be the CPD, which you're usually talking about. If you happen to be like me, where you are mentoring a lot of teachers, or a lot of newbies who come into this profession, the first thing I basically do is I sit down with them and I tell them, what is it that you want to do? And half of them, they don't know what they want to do. And then I tell them, okay, how about we start from your idea? And then from there, they take their mini steps and they start reflecting. And then they know what exactly they should be opting for. Should they specialize in teaching young learners? Should they specialize in strategies? Do they do very well with middle school? Or are they really good with adults? These are just a step by step process. Well, I don't use anything as of such, but it's a general framework that I basically use for all my learners. So I allow them to self reflect based on their strengths. For me, SWOT analysis works perfectly. So with the SWOT analysis, they actually are able to look into their strengths and they are able to define or look into what they want to do. Okay. And mentoring and being a mentee. Yes. So a mentor is an experienced teacher in the school who knows where things are and is familiar with the school procedures. A new teacher is assigned a mentor when they start. You're lucky if you have been assigned a mentor. Not many basically fall in this category. Most of us would start off like me, maybe having no clue and trying to figure out or what I have to do in the first place. But I did have a very good mentor. She passed away a couple of months ago, Dr. Ferrier Nasser. She was one of the best mentors I've had, and she really taught me a lot, and I've learned a lot from her. So the mentor is responsible for this new member of the staff. So the mentor has different little roles to inspire the mentee, number one. And that of an acculturator. Now, this person is someone who is going to transfer the values from one group to another, which means the mentee gets to have a really good exposure with regards to their work environment and how to even deal with their professional development from the mentor. And that of sponsored support to open doors for mentee to introduce mentee to people. So if a right mentor would always lead you to the right places. You know what? They would just say, go to this organization, go to this person, go to this hiring person. Okay, don't waste your time anywhere else. Have you tried pitching your CV? Did you call them in? Did you meet the right people? Did you speak to the HR? You know, the mentor will give the right support. And that of the educator to listen and coach the mentee so that the mentee can achieve professional learning objectives. And definitely, there is a more informal mentor program, which could simply be a buddy system in which new teachers are assigned a buddy on the staff who they can turn to if they have any problems or questions. Now, this is what is informally followed. But in order for you to actually have I'd say, a perfect mentor or a mentee approach, you need to follow that one person, or it can be two people or three people. I initially started with one mentor, then I started following three, and I religiously follow them. They are more like my gurus, and I try learning from them, passively. And at the same time, if I have any questions, I do reach out to them because I have met them personally at one point or the other. So that basically helps. So with all of this, we are looking into tips to handle Zoom fatigue. Now, this was also a part of the abstract. When it comes to collaborative teaching or collaborative learning or professional development, I did experience this, that Zoom fatigue, where you have endless online meetings, endless classes online, and it's just Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. So what I realized was, by using some of these strategies, I was really able to overcome the Zoom fatigue. So I kept my meetings brief. I started meeting more people. I opted for speaker view where I was able to see the speaker and myself, and I took notes on paper. I always have a post-it note with me. I avoid back-to-back calls. And phone calls are still an option. Yes, I prefer. I mean, there was this one time I would not prefer phone calls, and I would prefer people WhatsApping me. But now I'm more than open to phone calls. Or the ergonomics of your setup, which means I set up my place, to deliver the online class. So it should be attractive. It should, invite me to work basically there. Give my eyes a break. Yes, I've done that. I've gone on an 8 hours, stretch, on an 8 hour break from Zoom, from computer, from the screens, from the phones and everything. But I can't do it very often because of the kind of work I'm involved in. But I do manage to do this at least once a week, so it helps. You're looking for providing office hours as a manager. So I'm not available 24/7. No, thank you. I am only going to be available from so and so time until so and so time, and taking the weekend off. I try to take my weekends off, but that is when I have all the PDs lined up. Either I'm presenting, something else is happening. Then I look into goals. So when it comes to PD, there are some of my daily goals. There are weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals. So I actually have this goal chart, and based on this goal chart, I set up all my goals. So what is it that you can do today? What is it that I want to do after a week? Want to achieve? What is it that I want to achieve at the end of the month? And what is it that I would like to achieve at the end of the year? I usually avoid the yearly goals for some reason because it does not work out for me. If you are the kind of person who really looks into the yearly goals, yes, but usually yearly goals for me would be like one or two. Well, usually I'd have a lot of daily goals. I would have a lot of weekly goals as well. Monthly goals, they do not go above five. So you're going to see how to control your goals. Putting up unreasonable timelines is something you wouldn't want to do at this point either. Except the life of trial and error. Aren't we all doing the same thing? I mean, right now, let me tell you, there are about like 6 people around me, and they are cleaning up the university, and I'm sitting here in the reception area, delivering my lesson session, and then having a trial of this aspect of professional delivering professional development as well, where I'm sitting down in the reception area, and I'm delivering PD. Well, that's a good experience. So, but I would definitely not do it again. So next time I'm going to make my meetings more streamlined to my schedule and not take people's word for it. Develop your own success stories and share. Very important. So what are your success stories? And you may have a lot of success stories, but how many of them actually share the success stories? That is the problem. So I prefer everybody to actually share their own success story, and be a source of motivation for the others. So how about we do one thing? Just brief one or two success stories over here. I'm going to wait for some chat responses because we are almost coming to the end of the session. I'll have to leave in about 5 minutes. I'm so sorry about this because this place is really becoming chaotic right now. Okay, so just one or two success stories from 2 people that I'll take. I'd wait for that in the chat box. Something that would be used as a motivation for other people to follow. Something short and sweet. My success story was, I think the recent one would be using multiple online tools in different sessions. If you're a part, Reem, your concern is absolutely legit. You're afraid of sharing your success stories because you think why people would want to know. Are you afraid of the ayn? Is that what you're talking? Is that what you're talking about? Maybe not all. I wouldn't say not all, but something that would help you. Professional development for teachers by teachers. Yes. If we as teachers we share our own success stories as to what worked for us and what can work for the others, that is the best way we could motivate. rather than just hearing theories, right? Okay. Last but not the least, reward yourself as much as possible. No. You know what, Dream? I would love to hear your success story. I want to see how, the I want to know the story behind where you are today. I would really love to hear that. Sharing best practices is a very good way to share stories. Yes. Last but not the least, you are going to reward yourself because you're worth it. How are you going to reward yourself? Quickly, one or two ideas. Before these people really drive me out of the, you know what? I'm going to talk and I'm going to look at your responses. This is the most active PD session ever where I'm just movable. Okay, so tell me, how do you reward yourself? أيوة شوف. شكرا. جوالي أخذته. Oh, right, family gatherings. Oh, I do that too. ممكن تفك الباب؟ Okay. Thank you. I'm finally out of the university. Have you ever had a speaker who is so mobile throughout the presentation? It's a good thing for the internet. Spending time with friends, spending time with family. Okay, what else? I do that too. Spoil yourself with a good, oh my goodness, that is exquisite. Really. You know, how I do that too sometimes. Sometimes, spending all that money is not that rational sometimes, right? So I spoil myself with a good meal at an excellent restaurant. I did that recently, actually. I was really tired of eating my own food. So I was out with my brother at a cafe. It was the siblings cafe. So it was truly a sibling kind of an experience that I had. Yes, we'll take one or two more and then we can do the closing. So this is actually, people, this is Dar al Hikmah. So we were here for the OET trainings. Yes, buying something for me. Oh, yes. Yes, hi, Hannah. Lovely. Yes, I'm just moving around. You never came across a speaker who's done this before, is it? Thank you. You're most welcome. Buying something for myself, Nadia, that is so true. I mean, honestly, I really feel I should reward myself, when I do something right, or I finish a task, okay? Or I finish, say, a set of papers or certificates. Yes, I really reward myself. Like right now, once I'm done with the session and I've had a long day, I'm actually planning to do something crazy wild after this. I need to reward myself. Yes. Oh, you're most welcome for the tour. It's on the run. Saraha, right now, that's pretty much how I am. So, and I also look. Thank you so much, Raman. I believe, yes, I should basically reward myself with a lovely meal. But let's just hope that my kids are at home. Cinnabon. I mean, that's not a bad idea, to be very honest. I've been craving something sugar anyway. That's a really good idea. Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. I really appreciate that. Yes, it's the first ever mobile PD session from second floor to to ground floor to outside the university campus. Is just amazing. Oh no, Hannah, not a salad. No, walking presentation. I think I've had the best audience attending my presentation. Thank you so much, and thank you for bearing with me. Yes, presentation on the go. Although now I look at myself in the screen, I'm all like messed up. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm definitely going to buy myself something, and that one thing is going to be Cinnabon for now. I'm actually placing an order right now. Oh wow, Hannah, that would be that would be amazing. I'd love to do a session on the go. Thank you so much, everybody. Did I? I did, is it? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Yes, a lot of external stresses for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. And this is my email and my
number. Thank you so much, Hannah. And you can WhatsApp me if you'd like to have a copy of this presentation. And I'm glad it was interesting and fun. I tried to. I was like, oh my God, but whether I'd be there on time, but I'm glad that I made it. Thank you so much, everybody. This is my email, and that's my contact number. Feel free to get in touch. Any questions? I think I can entertain a few questions since I'm sitting outside. Thank you so much, Rawan. Thank you. Yeah, this is what we call is a presentation on the go, just like Hannah said. Any questions? Or we are good? Or we are all good, huh? I did do a lot of TTT.
Yeah, I don't think we have any questions. Do we have any questions in the Q&A box?
I answered one that was there right during my presentation. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Mr. Yusuf. I'm so glad. Yes, you have no idea what I was feeling right there inside. I was like, oh my God, I have to just go up and down the room. I'm Thankfully, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really good to be delivering a presentation to all of these lovely participants. I'm so glad. And since we do not have any questions, let's close this on a very good note. Let's take care of ourselves. And just like I tried to take care of myself today during the situation. And inshallah, next time, let's hope that we meet face to face. You know,
Inshallah, ya Rab.
inshallah, ya Rab, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, everybody. Take care. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Fatma. It was a very interesting, fun, and interactive presentation.
Thank
A
you.
great way to end the day. You
Thank you so
deserve
much.
to reward yourself, inshallah.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
Thank you for sharing with us all your insights and all the different ways and tips that we should, inshallah, take into consideration as teachers and administrators and people that work in education. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you everyone
you.
for attending this workshop and attending the sessions we had today, also attending the whole symposium. We hope it was beneficial, you enjoyed it, and got to reconnect with the people you haven't seen in a long time. Hopefully, inshallah, as Fatma said, next time we'll do this face to face, Ya Rab. So thank
Oh,
you everybody for a very lovely session, and thank you for interacting in the chat box. Have a very lovely day ahead, inshallah. Goodbye.
yes. Thank you very much, everybody. The wonderful audience. MashaAllah, tabarakallah alaykum. Yani, Rabbana yahfadkum ya Rab. And I'll see you, inshallah, next time, somewhere, someplace. For now, online. But definitely, inshallah, one day face to face, inshallah. Thank you so much. Yes, the symposium is very, very good. MashaAllah, tabarakallah alaykum. Thank you so much.